Hello everyone, Shaitan here bringing you another Stephano replay from his replay pack. This time we have a ZvP on Shakuras Plateau between the red Protoss Navi's BabyKnight and the blue Zerg in the bottom left corner cross map Millennium Stephano. So Shakuras Plateau is one of the maps that the Protoss player will almost certainly be doing a Forge Fast Expand on. This double ramp layup makes it very, very easy to defend, and as Idra could tell you, doing any sort of Roach-Ling all-in is going to be very, very ineffective, as the Protoss player can just add a second cannon, maybe another one over here, and with one or two sentries can very easily defend this ramp. So hopefully what we have in store for us then is a nice long macro game from Stephano and BabyKnight. We'll see what exactly is going to be happening. A little bit surprised by this choice of BabyKnight not to drop his first pylon over here. I'm not sure what really the reasoning behind this is. We'll see if he chooses to do what I've seen a couple of players do in the GSL. Their names actually escape me right now, but they drop the first pylon over here, and then they do a second pylon over here, and then continue on with their build. I think it was actually Naniwa maybe did it yesterday. I'm not 100% sure, but regardless. But we see that BabyKnight is actually going to be going for a gateway first opening. This has almost fallen out of favor on a lot of maps. It seems like the Protoss players are doing as much as they can to get away with Forge Fast Expands on any map they can. So this is a bit of a surprise from BabyKnight. Meanwhile, we see that Stephano is getting his spawning pool up, probably at around 14, and he should be going for a hatchery on 15. I don't think that the Protoss player will be able to scout in time. We'll see exactly what he chooses to do. Stephano is sending out his drone right now. And here we see a pylon on the low ground from the Protoss player, so it seems he is going to be expanding fairly soon. Maybe we'll be seeing a one-gate expand off of, a one-gate expand from BabyKnight. That's a possibility. He does drop his Cyber Core, so we'll see what he decides to follow it up with. I think, honestly, though, that this build can be susceptible to just early Ling pressure. If Stephano had opened up with a Speedling expand opening, I think he would be able to do a significant amount of pressure here. This pylon doesn't look... No, actually, okay, so he is going to be able to wall off, so that's not a concern, but I think he would be able to do a significant amount of damage with just a simple Zergling run-by, as this pylon is very undefended, and same thing with this one, so he'd probably be able to knock it out or at least harass the Protoss player's economy quite effectively. But we don't see that coming from Stephano. He hasn't even gotten his extractors yet. I wonder if he thinks that it's a Forge Fast Expand. Let's see what he actually knows. He hasn't scouted his opponent's base, so if he thinks that this is a Forge Fast Expand and takes a quick third, which it looks like he's going to do, this could be rather difficult for him to hold if BabyKnight recognizes the follow-up that Stephano has chosen and responds appropriately. So we do see that in this game specifically, Stephano has opted to take his third base before getting his first gas. Oftentimes he's actually favored expanding to his natural, then getting an extractor, getting metabolic speed, and delaying his third base until about 35, 37 supply, something around that. But we see that his third base is up in the mid-20s in this case, and there's a bit of pressure from BabyKnight pushing in here. He's going to be able to force some Zerglings. He shouldn't be able to get this Queen unless Stephano miscontrols it. We'll see what happens, though. He's driving out the Stalker. The Stalker can kite these Zerglings basically forever, and the Queen is actually off creep. You could note, okay, it looks like the Queen is going to be safe as long as the Queen might die. A little bit of a ring around the rosy here. Now we see two Stalkers coming in. The Queen does go down for BabyKnight. He still hasn't killed any Harvesters, but we see now the two Stalkers are going to be able to do a significant amount of damage. The first drone does go down. The Queens are up. The Stalkers are probably going to be driven away right now. Very nice surround there from Stephano, getting one of the Stalkers out of the way, and this Stalker is going to have to go leave the base right now, being chased by these slowlings. We do see Stephano is dropping a Spinecrawler. A bit of an overreaction, I would say, from him. He has all of these lings on the map. He'll have Zergling speed fairly soon. He doesn't need this spine crawler, and we see that he's actually been forced to make 11 lings. Up until just a second ago, he was down by about 12 harvesters, and now we see, just now it's evened up to about 26 to 30, but still not the position you want to be in. BabyKnight, meanwhile, is in a perfectly safe situation. He's dropped another gateway here to semi-complete off the wall. He has the sentries and the stalkers there. There's really no way that these Zerglings are going to be able to get in and do any sort of damage. On Stephano's side, though, we see that he's overmaking Overlords. A bit of a mistake there. I'd like to see him just turn all of these larvae into drones. That would be another, maybe make 1 or 2 Overlords and then convert the rest to drone. But he should be fine in the long term. You can see, though, that he is still behind his opponent in harvesters. Even though he's gotten that third base up very, very quickly and has 2 queens injecting. And he isn't even mining gas anymore. Metabolic Boost is about halfway done. We'll see what he opts to go for afterwards. It looks like he's going to be upgrading for a fairly quick lair. A lot of times with this 3-base opening, you see that the Zerg player stays on hatchery tech for a very long time. But we do see now what BabyKnight is going to be doing. He's going to be going for a 7-gate follow-up. We'll see if it's just the 7-gate or if he opts for Blink or any one of the variants there. It looks like from the sentries it's just going to be a standard 7-gate, no Blink with this build. We'll see how Stephano responds and what sort of form of 7-gate BabyKnight opts to do with this. Really the best way, as stated by Artosis, is you come in, you take this third base, and then you leave and macro up behind it. You don't want to go all in with this build because the Zerg might lose their third base, but they'll probably be able to defend after that. So really, if this push is defeated, you're not going to be able to do all that much to recover. So you want to snipe the third base and get out of there. All of the gateways are done. We'll see he's moving out right now with a bunch of sentries and stalkers and a few zealots. We'll see what he opts to go for right now. 22 Zerglings and 5 roaches on the way for Stephano. He's up 10 drones. If he can hold this off, he'll be in a fairly good position. He just needs to wait for these Zerglings to come out and then engage. This spine crawl is actually going to take a little bit of damage, and force fields go off, segmenting off the army, but there's not enough. The Zerglings are running through. They're able to do a bit of damage. I think BabyKnight lost. No, he didn't lose any of his sentries yet. They're about to go down right now, but he's used up a lot of the force field energy, which means that the Zerglings are going to become more and more effective. BabyKnight actually pulls back. I think he wants in another warp in right here, and it looks like that's going to be the cue that he's waiting for to go. These force fields are decent, but the Zerglings are already in here doing damage, and I think that BabyKnight just sort of miscontrolled that situation, and Stephano is playing very well. He's not overcommitting to the attack. He's baiting force fields, doing some damage to the army, and then reinforcing and pulling back to the spine crawler. BabyKnight needs to make sure not to get trapped in the third. These spine crawlers are going up, but Stephano doesn't want to let him get up there and force field off the ramp, because that would mean that his third is basically forfeit, which is never the situation you want to be in. This engagement is a little bit poor by Stephano. The force fields are cutting off a couple of the roaches there. There's really not that much damage being done to the army. A lot of these units are in the orange and red, but because of Protoss shield mechanic, they're going to be able to regenerate their forces very well. BabyKnight needs to pull back right now. This is a terrible engagement. All of the sentries are going down. Once those go down, you can really just swarm in with lings and defend very easily. We do see these spines going up at the third, so that's not going to be a viable option anymore. There's also 2 going up at the natural. Very nice defense from Stephano. We also see that he hasn't been making drones during this attack at all, so he really is relying on being able to crush this army and not take any sort of significant economic damage during the push, otherwise he'll be behind. BabyKnight, however, is not pressing the issue too much. He's just sort of poking in, doing damage as he can, keeping the Zerg honest, making him make more and more units, while at the same time he's getting a robo facility at his base. We also see that Stephano is taking a third base, and a very nice surround there from Stephano. He's able to take out most of the stalkers, and once those stalkers go down, the zealot sentry ball is going to be able to be dealt with these speed roaches quite effectively. But it looks like this wave of aggression is almost over. A couple more roaches will go down, but these sentries are very, very low on energy. I don't see BabyKnight being able to defend, or being able to continue this pressure for that much longer. Really what Stephano should be doing is trying to target down some of these sentries as he can, just so these sentries won't be able to live to fight another day, and BabyKnight will either have to not have sentries in his late game army, or waste some gas on them and delaying his tech even more. We do see Stephano is catching up to the army. He's going to be able to take out all of the sentries. Really nice move from him there, but I think he's going to lose all of these roaches. It remains to be seen whether it's worthwhile. No, BabyKnight doesn't actually push the issue. A little bit surprised there, but I guess he has his reasons. So now the problem is that BabyKnight has not yet taken a third, and we see that Stephano is now on 4 bases. He's going to be up to 58 drones against the 47 probes of his opponent. That attack was designed to be fairly all-in from BabyKnight, but he wasn't able to do all that much damage with it, so we'll see if he can recover, but realistically, if Stephano plays his cards right, he should be able to take this game just because of the strong advantage he's in. The one thing that I would have to say, though, is he does need to get these upgrades going, and just like that, he gets +1 going on ranged attack and melee attack, but that'll give him a nice edge in that BabyKnight doesn't actually have any upgrades. He's just getting his forts right now, getting Immortals to deal with the Roach-heavy army, and he's trying to get his third, but this is going to force a cancel, or actually, yeah, the cancel does go off, so BabyKnight doesn't lose all of the money, but it looks like these Roaches are actually all going to lose their life. A little bit of a poor engagement from Stephano, and it doesn't look like there's any sort of counterattack to take advantage of this drawn out of position army, and I don't know what BabyKnight's doing, although I guess he does have these Roaches trapped. He doesn't really need to worry about it too much, and all of these Roaches are going to die without doing too much damage, maybe taking out a Stalker or two. A nice victory for BabyKnight. That's what he needs to get back into this, but we do see Stephano making 19 Roaches and 22 Lings, so he's going to be able to restock his army quite effectively. Again, the third is attempting to be put down by BabyKnight. He really needs that if he wants to just stay in this game. He's pushing out right now. I don't know. I mean, these two Immortals are going to be pretty effective against the Roaches, but without a few more Zealots and Sentries, he's not going to be able to keep the Zerglings away very effectively, and we see that Stephano is setting up for a flank, it looks like, but the preparation, no, it looks like he's just going to do a Zergling run-by into the third. He's probably going to force the cancel again, and BabyKnight is forced to withdraw his whole army. He does have to manage to keep the whole, keep the Nexus up, and all of these Zerglings are going to die when they try to run up this ramp, but Stephano is pushing out with a couple of Roaches. Actually, the whole thing, a pretty nice flank going on, but these force fields are able to keep the majority of the Roaches out. He would have liked to see another one right here, and we'll see how this works for Stephano. He's going to actually probably be able to take out this entire army. There's simply not enough sentries to be able to deal with the Zerglings, and there's not enough Zealots to do the damage that needs to be. The +1/+1 is about to finish, and when that does, this army is going to be just so much more effective. The Immortals are the saving grace right now for BabyKnight. They're going to be able to take out all of these Roaches and clean up the attack, but look at the army supply right now. We see that it's 56 for Stephano, 35 for BabyKnight, and Stephano has begun to transition into Hydralisk, which is exactly what you want to deal with a Gateway Immortal army. Without Colossi or Templar, there's really no effective answer to the high DPS, low health unit that the Hydralisk is. We see him getting grooved spines and +2 missile attacks, so I think the follow-up push from Stephano, assuming he he doesn't let his opponent get back into this game, is going to be the death blow. We see BabyKnight is spending more and more gas on these sentries. He's probably just warped in a few, and that's going to cut into the stronger units of his army, such as the Immortal, so he's having to rely a lot on Stalkers, which, while they're effective against Roaches with Blink Micro, aren't going to be all that effective against a strong Roach Hydra Ling army. No, it looks like just Roach Hydra army from Stephano, as the Roaches will be able to buffer the damage as the Hydralisks are raining down devastation from the back. I think BabyKnight knows this. He should be just gearing up, maybe turtling, playing to get to 200 supply, and then pushing out with one final battle, because really that's the only possibility he has of winning this game, is pushing out at 200 supply and basically doing significant economic damage to the Zerg player before he's able to restock his army. Supplies are 186 to 134 in Stephano's favor. This looks like it's going to be a fairly easy victory for the Zerg player. We do see that BabyKnight is adding on a robotics bay, but it shouldn't be up in time. Stephano should. Actually, the one thing I have to be critical of Stephano is he's not doing any scouting. He has no idea what's going on in the base. He does have this Overlord in the back, but he doesn't have a pneumatized Carapace, and just the ability to scout and know that this robotics bay is coming is going to give him a very nice opening to go in and do significant damage. He's dropping down the Spire, so he will be safe against the Colossi, but just the fact that he's not sort of punishing BabyKnight for going for the Colossus is really a bit of a mistake from Stephano. We do see that he's moving out right now, but it's really a blind move out. There's no rhyme or reason. He doesn't know about the Robo Bay, but it looks like the force fields are going to be able to cut off the majority of the army right now, and he's able to do a little bit of damage with the ones that are cut forward, and it looks like a couple of the Immortals are actually going to know. Just one Immortal is going to be taken down by the Hydra. The second Immortal goes down. There's only 3 left right now, and this mainly Hydralisk army is just going to be able to take out this army with ease just because of how much bigger it is. In army supply, we see 120 basically to 55 supply in favor of the Zerg player. Stephano is making more and more Lings and Hydras, moving into the third, and without the force field, he's not going to be able to cut off this choke, which is what he needs to do. The Hydras are moving in, taking out more and more units with every fire of their group spines. We're going to see this looks like it's going to be GG for BabyKnight. He's not going to have, he has 2 Colossus on the way, but they're just not here in time. Very nice timing from Stephano, who's going to be able to take out the pylon. Maybe no, it looks like the Nexus is going to go down, but the Zealots are warped in, and with probes and Zealots along with a couple of Stalkers, going to probably be able to clean up this attack. No, it looks like the reinforcing wave of Hydras is going to do terrible damage to the forces, and BabyKnight GG's. He knows he can't recover, even though he has these 2 Colossi on his way out.